I'm going to fix some common misconceptions about the Reaper Occultist healing. Here are some things you need to worry about. If you're worried about raid viability, you don't have to. Heart Rendering Worm Spell and Spell Rest, hands down the best healing spells in the game. Star Spell Rest can be compared to the other two healers, which also have really good raid utility in healing, but Heart Rendering Worm is the de facto best healing raid spell in the game for the sole purpose that Life Prayer makes it so it hits everybody in your party and puts them up to full HP while giving you 20% increased healing to negate the effects of 10% of your HP loss every 5 seconds. If you're worried about accidentally killing people because they're taking a big hit, the only thing you have to do is make sure you only pop this after a big hit when everyone's less than half percent HP. If everyone's at 10% HP, or if a boss puts everyone at 1 HP, if you have popped this spell, you're immediately giving everyone back 50% of their HP. Hands down, no one can out heal that. GG, you win. How you heal that back is going to be a combination of your three or four raid cooldowns, which you do have. Dream Devour does a lot of different things at a lot of the same time, but at the end of the day, DPS get a DPS increase, tanks get increased aggro, and reduced damage by healers who are targeting people. Meaning, I give my targets 20% increase damage reduction, uh, and I take 60% reduced damage for 6 seconds. It's a very strong. You need to pop this on cooldown. That's your first raid cooldown. Your second and third are going to be Heart Rending Worm Spell and Star Spell Rest. Those are massive, right? Your fourth one, it's not Summon Spirit Growth, although this could be used as a single target heal when you're using Essence Augmentation. Why you would use this over elapsed time, I'll get into shortly. But this is a single target heal that you can use if you're low on mana. You take 35% reduced damage, and whoever your soulbind target is, as long as you have Essence Augmentation passive, you will give them 2100 healing. It is very, very powerful for your soulbind target if they're a tank and get all that health back for literally you pressing this to maintain your mana. You have to press this button anyway. Why not give some healing out as well? There's no reason not to, right? The reason why you don't want elapsed time versus essence augmentation. This is my biggest argument is elapsed time and snake handler used together at the same time will act as a mini raid cooldown. With elapsed time, you hit 4 targets with blood circulation. Every single one of them, uh, every single one of them will get 25% increased healing than what you normally would do from blood circulation. So if you hit someone manually with blood circulation, this spell will hit 4 of the lowest HP people 25% harder than if you would to target those same 4 people with blood circulation. Blood circulation, another thing people don't realize, gives you a full stack of healing haze. I get 12 seconds of healing haze for just casting it on myself. If I needed to put 12 seconds of healing haze on someone, I need to do 2 full casts of Sea Fog at a 2.1 second cast time for Sea Fog. That means I have to spend 4.3 seconds standing still and healing this person. Now, the big brain play and the reason why I use Sea Fog, and again, I'm at 58 item level, so take these numbers with a grain of salt. Next week I'll be 60. And I have a crit rate of only 13% with a mastery of 226, which is 17% increased healing on top of that. Mastery is only as good as your base stat. Let me explain this to you. Mastery is only as good as how much base stat you have. If you have increased healing and whatnot, like your magic power and whatnot, increases your percent increase. This gets calculated first before mastery. If you have wisdom, all of the wisdom right here, right, your increased healing effects by 168, this is counted first. Then it's magic power, which 10% point 4 increased on top of your 168, or however much healing effect that you have, right? Add that first, add an additional, say, 10% for my case, since I have 245 magic power. Then add 17.38% on top of that. That's how that's calculated. It stacks down. So mastery is only as good as your wisdom stat, because magic power is only as good as your wisdom stat, if that makes sense. So, because mastery only affects sea fog and only affects healing haze, and healing haze only makes it so sea fog also heals a target, you have to use sea fog to heal on the Reaper effectively. You have to. So, what is your stat priority? Your stat priority, in my opinion, is going to be crit mastery. The reasoning for that is your crit rate. When you're hitting everybody who has sea fog for 100, like 300 to 400, and then with buffs, and you'll see 5 to 600 crits from just bouncing from sea fog. The throughput goes up insanely quick, especially when you use elapsed time and snake handler. Elapsed time increases the cooldown by 54 seconds, which can be augmented, right? So it's actually only 46, right? So with more haste, you can actually lower this. You can get this pretty low, right? But it only increases your healing by 5%, right? Direct healing is still the same. It's 5% increase healing. When people read this passive normally, they think that says HP consumption is increased by 20%, meaning you have to take 20% more damage to cast this spell, because that spell doesn't use mana, it uses health. Because it uses 3% of your HP as a baseline stat to heal someone. So the more HP you have, the more you're healing someone for at least 3%. The amount healed is increased to 15%. The big word is to, not by, but to. By default, you're already at 10%. Right there, it says Nua Descendants, healing is increased by 10%. This passive only puts it to 5. The reason why you would take this is for blood circulation to hit 8 targets. But you won't need to worry about that all too much if your crit and mastery are high enough. Because again, your healing haze has to do with the amount of people you're targeting. The more people that have it, the better. Meaning, you're going to pop your haste buff that you get from your passive, and you're going to do 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Click on her, 1, 2. See how hard it is to click on people that are moving and whatnot? You could do a full 3-second cast and whatnot right there. Like, that was a 400 crit from just Sea Fog. I can maintain 4 people effectively with 3 seconds of Sea Fog, right? And it'll hit all 4 of us. I can maintain this rotation and just sit here and keep 4 people up with Healing Haze and whatnot. But however, it's going to be a lot easier if I give us all max stacks and then start healing us, so I can maintain it, right? It's easier with 3 people. You can't keep upwards of 9 seconds or I think it's actually 8 seconds of healing haze up for too long. You can maintain 3 people with this relatively easily. If you need to add someone else to the rotation, just hit them with a blood circulation, and now you're getting 4 people without doing too much. You don't even have to target them anymore. The reasoning people don't like Sea Fog so much is because they're not using their built-in add-ons properly. This setting right here, quick selection, makes it so you don't have to target someone when they're in your team. Like, if I hover over him and hit 2, it actually just hits me. I have to click on him and hit 2. Especially when people are moving around, it gets really rough. Or when they're in the team, they're actually clicking on their nameplates and then healing them. With this selection, when you have to hit shift left click, you hit quick selection, you are going to open up you're going to enable heal over time macros, essentially. It's a built-in add-on. So if you've ever healed in World of Warcraft, it essentially makes it so you don't have to target anyone. Alright, my target is Proxer right here, right? If I hit 1 off of my unit plate, it'll heal him. However, if I hover over myself, I'm now healing myself. That numbers that you're seeing at 186, that's the bounce off from Sea Fog because he has Healing Haze. Once it drops off of him, he'll stop getting healed by it. So right about, Now he's not getting healed anymore. If I want to heal him, just move my mouse off and whatnot. Oh, that targeted me. So what it ends up doing is it hovers over the person you want to heal, and then when you hit the button, it then targets and cast, right? So it's not perfect, right? So you still have to like click on somebody else, or if they're in your party, just hover over their nameplate. This takes the clicking out of it. Very useful, very, very, very much needed for CFOG spamming. Now, the glyph that's going to replace the need for you to have a 15% or to maximize your haste stat is called Waning Moon. This increases your haste by 15% of the effect. Okay? While you have Returned Soul and Eternal Light up, you actually get increased healing for each person that goes down, which will happen in raids and dungeons. This is very, very strong for, trying to salvage a run if people die, because you can't pick people up mid-fight, and some people will die. And then if they're below 30%, you actually get 8% more. It is like, if 3 people are dead, that's 15% increase healing. And then add another 8 for targets under 30%. There is a certain point in hard mode dungeons, if you're running with 8 people, you can solo heal just from the increased healing power alone. Ignoring my gear off the bat at 58, at at 52 gear level, I was soloed healed. The dog boss. No, not the dog boss. What's her name? The ice bitch in the prison that you have to jump up to remove the debuff. I soloed healed that fight at 52 gear score when the healer died and 2 other people died because I was getting so much extra healing. Right? Read your spells, Reapers, please. I don't want to keep looking at faction or class chat and see wrong information being passed out. If you want to know the more detailed effectiveness of the build that I'm running, let me know in the comments. I will do a in-depth CFOG guide. It will be long because there's a lot to go over, and I'm not doing any editing because I'm a fat, lazy piece of shit. So just let me know. I'll do a detailed guide. If you don't like CFOG, if you want another build that I believe is a little bit unoptimized, you can run it, but it's not my preferred style. I could go over the Memories of the Past build, but you'll be missing out on a very powerful uh passive that I almost guarantee you every raid will want you to run because it's so good. But I'll go over both builds if you want. The CFOG build is just the one that I want. If you like what you saw, hit a like, do all the fucking YouTube crap that you guys want to do. Just tell me in the comments if I need to do a CFOG vid. Otherwise, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to waste the time. But if you're more interested in this game and you're more interested about the different healers, just let me know. I will inform you guys the best of my knowledge, because there's a lot of misinformation out there, and I'm really just trying to tackle it. I'm tired of seeing the wrong things in class chat. So thanks, guys, for watching, and I will see you guys when I see y'all. Y'all have a good one.